Hey, what's up, my friends? It's Steve from Straight Fire Picks. We got best bets for NBA here for you today on Thursday, March 7th, 2024. We got NBA player props, spreads, totals, predictions here for you today. We got 5 picks on the way here for you today that I think are great value bets for this Thursday NBA slate. If y'all are new to the channel here today, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Always appreciate that. We are on the road to 9,000 subscribers. I'm really hyped, though, to get to 10,000, guys. Once we get there, we're going to have a lot of fun, do some giveaways and stuff like that. Make sure you guys check us out on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, at Straightfire Picks. More picks, content, recaps. Also our Discord page as well. It's absolutely free to join that. I'll have a link down below in the comment section and the description for that. Also, be sure to drop your favorite pick for today's action down below in the comment section. If you'd like your pick included in our comment capper section, just be sure to put a star or an asterisk next to your pick. We'll include your pick in the video. If it hits, basically, I'll give your pick a shout out in the video if your pick hits for the day. So, without further ado, let's do a shout out now to our Straight Fire MVPs. Shout out to our newest Straight Fire MVPs, Uncle Sonny's Barbecue, and returning as a Straight Fire MVP, Super Thug. Love to see it, guys. I remember saying that name. Oh boy, I'm going to crack up again. But I appreciate all of you guys. Appreciate all of our channel members. If you guys are interested in becoming a Straight Fire MVP today, there's a join button down below. We'll also have a link in the comment section description for that. The cost is just $3.99 per month. Cost of about a coffee per month. You get access to our picks and our plays early, usually a couple hours in advance of the video. Really, that's the greatest value add that you get. You also get a badge next to your name, some custom emojis, roll color in the Discord, and shoutouts on the video, and a great way to support the channel and what we do here at the channel. So, appreciate all of you guys. Enough on that. Let's do a recap from yesterday. In some ways, I wish we didn't have to. I feel like I'm saying this a lot more lately. Honestly, we went 2-4, minus 1.86 units, but let's just do a quick run through of what happened yesterday. So we cashed, first of all, the under 227.5 points in the Bucks-Warriors game. If you guys saw the first half, you guys thought we had no chance, and we actually ended up cashing this easily somehow. Game finished with 215 points. There was like 78 or 80 points in the second half. So early on, it didn't look great, but things slowed down a lot, fortunately, for us in the second half. We also cashed Tobias Harris under 31.5 PRAs. That one cashed easily. I believe we finished with like 12 or 13. It really wasn't even that close. We missed on the Bulls -4 spread. Let me just say, guys, the Bulls were up by 10 most of this game. They were in control of this game throughout. They were pretty much up by 7 to 11 throughout the entire game. And then it got in the last few minutes of the game, and Colin Sexton decided to bury a couple of contested threes to make life difficult on us, and the Bulls ended up winning by 2. It was obviously very sad. I still like that pick, post pick. I really thought the Bulls had the advantage, and really they played better throughout, and then up until the last few minutes, which I would have had the Bulls winning the last few minutes because they got more closers. It made more sense to me. The Jazz had a lack of closing ability, but obviously Sexton hitting those step back contested threes was difficult, and just unfortunate. So we missed on that one. Missed on Jarrett Allen under 14.5 rebounds and assists. This is the one play I'll say was just not a great read. In some regards, however, when I made the pick, Evan Mobley was going to be in the lineup. Obviously, he ended up getting ruled out after I made the pick, and his line went up to 15.5. Might even gotten to 16.5. It got up pretty high, and he ended up hitting the over easily. So, yeah, that one definitely hurt, guys. That one definitely did not feel good as far as that goes. And then we had Harrison Barnes over 1.5 3-pointers made. He ends up finishing with 1. He plays 15 minutes. He played good when he was in there, especially in the third quarter. I thought he'd get back in the fourth, and he didn't. So that was definitely, we lost that mostly just because of minutes, so that sucked. And then Dean Wade, 10-plus points, plus 410 value, a half unit. I made this play later in the day once we knew Mobley and Strus were out. I thought it was great value. Finished with 9 points. Missed the free throw. 1 for 6 from 3. The opportunity and the volume was certainly there for the value. I love the play, post-play. You would have cashed his regular over, obviously, if you guys just took that. But unfortunately, he didn't like us yesterday. He didn't want to hit that free throw or a 3 or anything. So he played the minutes and he got the volume. That's all I can ask for. But we're getting back after it today, guys. Let's lock in here and get a 5-0 sweep. We will have a ladder challenge out later as well. 10K ladder challenge that we're doing. We're going to retry that as well again today. So it's new day. Let's get after it, guys. At number 1, we're going with the under 221 points in the Celtics Nuggets game. Minus 108 odds here on FanDuel. So guys, we had a final score of 102 to 100 in the first meeting this year. That's 202 points, so well under this total, which we like to see that. Here you got the Celtics 20th, Nuggets 13th in pace of play over the last 10 games. That's pretty solid, actually, overall for an under like this. The pace isn't too high for either of these two teams. You got the Celtics here 4th, Nuggets 10th in defensive rating over the last 10 games. You got the Celtics allowing the 5th fewest points on the road, and the Nuggets allowing the 5th fewest points at home. What I'm expecting here, guys, is a gritty matchup. I think you could be seeing a finals preview here between the Celtics and the Nuggets, obviously. There's a lot of people that would have these two in the finals as of right now. So I think you're going to see a great basketball game, and it's going to be gritty. It's going to be tough. You know, both these teams have something to prove. And we kind of saw that in the first meeting, right? 102 to 100. Pretty low-scoring game. I think you could see more of that here in this game. So they went well under this number. I think we'll have a shot to go well under once again in this matchup. Like I said, it could be a finals preview. While I was stuttering a minute, I forgot, guys. That's the end of our analysis for that. I forgot to give our comic cappers a shout out. I know I'm doing this a little out of order. We had Magic Man calling Alex Caruso over 3.5 assists, and Lit Picks calling Jalen Green under 19.5 points, and the Grizzlies plus 5.5 spread. So great calls from our comic cappers. I wanted to make sure I got those in. That's it for the analysis still on the under, guys. I love it. I think because it's going to be a gritty game, you're going to see a fairly low-scoring game here, and I like the pace and the defense that we got on both sides. So love it there for our number one pick. We got the under 221 points in the Celtics Nuggets game, minus 108 odds on FanDuel. See, I can't think of too many things at the same time. It just doesn't work. My brain gets really confused. All right, moving on to our number two pick, guys. We got RJ Barrett under 32.5 PRAs here for the Toronto Raptors. Minus 110 odds on DraftKings. So we got Barrett here, guys. 3 for his last 3 versus Phoenix to the under, including 2 for 2 this year as a member of the Knicks, of course. But here in this matchup, guys, you got the spread set to 10.5 in favor of the Suns, where, honestly, I was looking at taking the Suns on the spread. I really like the Suns on the spread today just because the Raptors have so many injuries, which is why Barrett's line is up high. I get that. I do understand that. However, here Barrett is 7-9 to the under as a member of the Raptors when they lose by 10 plus, which they've done enough since he's been a member of the Raptors, and 7 of 7 to the under when they lose by 15 plus. So I think there's potential for the blowout if that happens. Obviously, I like Barrett hitting us under based on those trends. We know there's players out. Barnes is out. Brown is out. Plato's out. I get it. I don't think that particularly helps Barrett, though. We saw Barrett with all those guys out last game versus the Pelicans post 22 PRAs. It wasn't like that exactly helped him on the floor. It doesn't free up the floor for RJ Barrett. I think if the onus has to be on Barrett, if he has to be the sole guy trying to get his, I don't think it bodes well for the Raptors at all. I really don't. I've always thought that with RJ Barrett. If he has to be the primary option, it's not a great thing for him or the team. Just because, you know, if the onus is on him, I think he's going to struggle. I do. I really do. So he's 6 of his last 10 here to the under, 5 of his last 10 under on the road. Suns here allowing the 4th fewest rebounds, the 2nd fewest assists to power forwards. They do allow the 9th most points to power forwards, which is why I was considering his rebounds and assists initially. Started thinking about it, though, at 21.5. I just think that point line is a little too high. You can see him playing a little bit of both, small forward, power forward. He fits more of the small forward profile, which is a very good versus small forwards. The Suns allow the 2nd fewest points, the fewest assists, and the 13th fewest rebounds to small forward. So if he's playing more small forward, it bodes better for us, obviously. But overall, I would say the Suns are pretty good versus the forward position, particularly rebounds and assists, but also points versus small forwards. They do give up a little bit more points to the power forwards, but I think here today, like I said, if the onus is on Barrett, I do not think that's going to help him at all. So love it there, guys. For our number 2 pick, we're going RJ Barrett under 32.5 PRAs here for the Toronto Raptors, minus 110 odds on DraftKings. Okay, and at number 3, we're going with the Indiana Pacers, minus 1.5 spread here versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, minus 105 odds on DraftKings. So, guys, we got injury news on both sides. Major injury news. Benedict Mathurin out for the Pacers, and Karl Anthony Towns out for the Timberwolves. Now, Towns tore his meniscus. He's out indefinitely, so he's likely out a long period of time, which, to be honest with you, is a much bigger loss than Mathurin is for the Pacers. And a couple reasons. A, the last time these two teams played, Towns put up 40 on the Pacers. That was the matchup they were attacking. So now you're missing that. You're missing the matchup advantage that the Wolves would have here, which would be with Towns, and Towns is gone. Not only is Towns gone, but Towns might be done for a long time, which, if you think about it, could really negatively affect the psyche of a team. Obviously, the Wolves had a lot of expectations this year, chasing a number one seed. You know, potential for them to maybe win the Western Conference this year with the way that they were playing. Now without Towns, that takes a big hit. And it's hard to imagine that would not affect the team, the psyche of the team. And it's kind of fresh, right? Just happened the other day versus the Blazers. So it's the first game without Towns. I think it's going to be tough, honestly. I think the team chemistry could be tough. I think they could be a little bit digested there. As far as Mathurin, the situation isn't quite as serious as far as with him. And even, it's just a much different thing. The Pacers have so many guys that they could fill in and that could score 15-plus points. There's so many guys that do that on the Pacers. You know, McConnell, Halliburton, Turner, Siakam, Nembhard, Naismith. I can go on down the line with the Pacers of different guys that could score you 15-plus points. I don't know if we could say the same about the Wolves, right? I know we got Gobert, but consistently relying on him to score, you know, I don't know. I don't know if that's really a thing. Anthony Edwards, and then outside of that, you get into like Conley, whose averages for the season are like 9.5 points. You get into guys like that, and you know, Naz Reid and these guys off the bench that are good role players, but they're not guys that could just go out and get their own bucket. So I think that's going to be an issue here for the Wolves. Their depth is going to be definitely tested. Their psyche is going to be tested. They're on the road here against a fast-paced Pacers team. So if they're not ready to play, they could get run off the court, which I think is definitely a possibility. Pacers here 17-13-2 at home against the spread. Wolves 16-15 on the road against the spread. Pacers here 4th, Wolves 12th in offensive rating over the last 10. Pacers 21st, Wolves 1st in defensive rating over the last 10. So Wolves are obviously been a great defensive team. Like I said, now that Towns is out, like I said, that's the biggest thing that I'm looking at in this matchup. I think it'll affect them greatly. So I do love it there, guys. For our number 3 pick, we got the Indiana Pacers -1.5 spread, -105 odds on DraftKings. Okay, and at number 4, we're going Nicholas Claxton. Under 10.5 rebounds here for the Brooklyn Nets. -105 odds on DraftKings. So, guys, we got Claxton 9 out of 10 here. 9 out of his last 10 to the under. 6 of his last 10 on the road to the under, including 5 for his last 5 on the road to the under. So, I like seeing that. He's 3 for his last 5 under versus the Pistons with an average of 9 per game. So he went over, obviously went over in 2 of those, getting 13 and 11. And then the other 3, I believe he had 7, 7, and 7. I think the 3 losses were 7. But so, yeah, his average obviously isn't very high here. And if you look at him recently, he's averaging 15.2 rebound chances per game over his last 10 games. That would mean for him to hit the over, he'd have to hit 11 out of 15, which would be 73% of his chances. To give you an idea, most guys are not hitting that type of conversion rate. DeAndre Ayton is the highest as far as the guy that has more rebound chances than him. He's the highest converter at that percentage, and he's hitting 69.7% for Ayton. That's the absolute highest. Claxton's conversion rate is 52%. Not even close to that. So, you know, if you're looking at that, if he gets 15 rebound chances today, converts, let's just give him 60%. He's looking at between 9 and 10 rebounds at the max. He's looking at really 9 rebounds. 9 out of 15 would be 60%. So 9 would be, and that's if he hits 60%. If that's if he goes above his average. If he stays at his average, you're looking at 7.5 rebounds. So you're looking at 7 or 8 rebounds for Nicholas Claxton, well under this line, and especially for the value. And really, this ain't the best matchup. It ain't the worst, about a middle of the road matchup. Pistons 11th most rebounds to centers last 7, 12th most for the year. It's about the middle of the road. They did just get Isaiah Stewart back as well to go along with Jalen Duren. So obviously they got some size back, which I think helps as well for the Pistons. So, and with him being on the road, I see him going under, guys. So love it there for number 4 pick. We got Nicholas Claxton under 10.5 rebounds, -105 odds on DraftKings. Okay, and finally at number 5, we got Terry Rozier over 9.5 rebounds and assists here for the Miami Heat, plus 110 odds on MGM. So I love the value, first of all, on this play. The Mavericks here allow the third most rebounds, the sixth most assists to point guards over the last 15 games. That's absolutely terrific. They allow the most assists, the 18th most rebounds to point guards over the last 7 games. They allow the second most rebounds, the 10th most assists to point guards for the season. So I'm just giving you a full scope of what they allow last 7, last 15, and for the season. And overall, you get the consensus here. Really, if you look at it holistically, they give up rebounds and assists to point guards. That's what they do. And Rozier, here without Tyler Herro, I think will only help his usage rate here, obviously, as far as passing and potentially rebounding as well. More usage here for Rozier. He's 6 of his last 10 to this line overall, 2 of 4 on the road as a member of the Miami Heat. So that's pretty solid. I think the matchup here and Herro being out sends him over. So far, we've seen Rozier go 2 for 5 without Tyler Herro to this over. But every time he missed was close. So he had logs of 12, 8, 9, 10, and 9. So he finished with 9 twice and then 8. And his line on some books is 8.5 juiced. So if you guys feel more comfortable, you could definitely take an 8.5 juiced. The trends would definitely fit you better for that. But I think the matchup here is going to send him over for sure. And Herro being out, that double combo, I think is going to put Terry Rozier over here for sure. The ones where he missed, I believe, were against Denver, Portland, and I want to say Detroit off the top. And those weren't the best of matchups as far as for point guards for this line. So here you're getting a really advantageous matchup. So love it there, guys. For number 5 pick, we got Terry Rozier over 9.5 rebounds and assists, plus 110 odds on BetMGM. All right, guys, that's going to do it for our 5 picks. We're going to do our For the Sweet parlay once again up on the screen. We are determined to hit this, guys. We're putting 1/10 of a unit on this to win over 2.5 units. Let's get it done today, guys. We need to have an absolutely massive day in the NBA. I need it for my psyche. We all need it for our wallets. It's been a rough time here in the NBA. Yeah, I don't know what to say about it. It's one of those things where when the luck isn't on your side, it isn't on your side. Yesterday was a great example of the luck not being on our side, especially with Dean Wade. We had him getting 10 plus points for plus 410, half a unit. That would have gave us a pretty solid day. If he had hit that, he missed the free throw. We were 1 point off, missed the free throw, and he was 1 for 6 from 3. But obviously, I thought the pick was correct. It just didn't work out. And then, same thing with the Bulls on the spread, guys. They were in control throughout and just lost it late. The one, obviously, the one I don't feel good about was Jarrett Allen. Just from the standpoint, I probably could have seen Evan Mobley being ruled out just because of his recent injury news. It's not too surprising to see them rust him on a back-to-back, so we got to be a little bit more careful about that. But obviously, when I made the pick, I was under the assumption that he was in, and he was in when I made the pick. They had lines and everything out for him when I made the pick. So it is one of those things, guys, that you live and die. You live and die by this stuff. And like I said, hopefully today we have a nice bounce-back day. Love to at least see a 4-1 day, hopefully a 5-0 day. We'll have our ladder challenge out later, guys. I appreciate all of your guys' support. Thank you guys for sticking with me and just supporting the videos. Like I said, whether you guys play the plays or not, it's completely your decision how you guys want to go about that. I understand whatever you guys are doing right now. Might be a good opportunity to lower your wager size with us right now, or just watch until we get hot. That's another thing. Because usually once we get on a streak, we get on a streak. That's usually just how it works. Good or bad. It's just the way it tends to work with us. Straight fire. We're on fire when we're on fire, and we're cold when we're not. But I appreciate all of you guys. We'll have a ladder challenge, like I said, out later. Outside of that, that is going to do it for me. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. We'll catch you next time. Peace out.